Hey everybody, welcome to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. Today's featured actor, will be Bruce Willis.
Wow, he's one of my favorites.
I'm Peter.
I'm Frank. Before we talk about Bruce Willis, though, I got a thing for you. I got a quick question.
Sure.
Guilty pleasure movie. We'll talk about it afterwards. Think about it.
Okay,
guilty pleasure movie.
I got it.
So,
well, I'm working on it.
Yeah, you're working on it. So, do you want to go first and talk about Bruce Willis?
Guilty pleasure. Okay, I get that. Yes,
right.
Bruce Willis.
He's an enjoyable actor that we've had now for a little while.
Yeah, he's been around quite a bit.
Scene.
Quite a bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
he really is.
35 years or so, at least.
I'd say, yeah.
At least. I mean, Moonlighting was his first big thing.
Right, first big thing on TV. Yeah, good stuff. Bruce Willis. Let me see. My three Bruce Willis top performances. I'm going to go my favorite one, and there could be some overlap between the two of us, but my favorite Bruce Willis performance, and it is my favorite character in this movie, and it's a movie that I truly love.
Okay.
Is
really building the anticipation.
you got
there,
it?
aren't
Is
you?
Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
I just love his performance in that movie, and a lot of times it's overlooked because there's a lot of names. There's big characters in that.
Yeah,
movie.
there's a lot going on in that movie.
Some kind of move in and out of the scenes pretty quickly, but
I've always enjoyed that one.
What is it about?
There's that whole doing the right thing, just trying to be a stand-up person, and there's the scene where Marcellus Wallace, the Ving Rhames character, is telling him it's going to be a little sting, and that's just pride.
Yeah.
And you could just tell about that Bruce Willis character. No, that's just not the right thing. That's not how you go out. And he's an aging boxer, and that's explained. Yeah. And there's no sugarcoating that. He knows where he is in his life. And then of course the whole backstory with the watch, which also kind of like leads to how he is and how just simple. And this is what he's got. He's got to protect that watch, and so that also.
So his legacy.
It kind of precipitates the whole
legacy,
route, the whole scene where he has to go back
to
get the watch after his girlfriend has forgotten to pack the watch.
Yeah.
And that leads to more
hilarity,
yes, shenanigans. Good old yes.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. He does it just sort of.
I just love that, and like I said, even though there's other big characters in that movie, I mean, there's a small but a great performance by Christopher Walken when he's talking about the watch.
Yeah.
The Ving Rhames, and then of course, the Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, great duo. I mean, there's a lot to forget about when it comes to these other little characters. But he's able to rise above that little character, and he's like to me, he's my favorite character in that movie.
I don't think he's a little character.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't
right,
call him a little
right.
character.
He's not a little character.
I think that
he's not one of the three leads. But
I wouldn't say that there's
He is
a
the lead,
lead in that movie
That's a
so
good
much.
point.
It's I would say that's a more of an ensemble kind of movie, and the fact that the way it jumps around in time makes it difficult.
It's not
I
a
think
linear
to
one,
it makes it difficult to sort of distinguish a lead. So I could call that a Bruce Willis movie as much as I would call it like a Sam Jackson movie or a John Travolta movie. I mean, the thing is though, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, and that's I mean, whether through the characters, it's a Quentin Tarantino. It's him all over. But Bruce Willis's performance in that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's
I love the movie. I'm pretty sure that you feel the same way about the movie.
Yeah,
but I just, even though
Harvey Keitel just knocks it out of the park in that one.
Oh, everybody.
There's a lot of great roles. His just for some reason it resonates with me
probably the
Yeah.
most of any of those
It's
characters.
probably my favorite Kathy Griffin movie.
Ah, yes, exactly. You are correct.
Fun fact there, Kathy
Correct.
Griffin is in Pulp
She
Fiction.
is.
But you know that because you're all big movie fans.
Or else you
aren't
wouldn't be watching
Or else
it.
you wouldn't be watching the show. You're either all really big movie fans or family members. So or friends. Those are the three big reasons why you're watching this. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Sure.
hopefully you're a total stranger and you're digging this. So, but yeah, Kathy Griffin is in Pulp Fiction.
So I got that Pulp Fiction
Okay.
performance
What's
for
next?
Bruce Willis. I know enough time has gone by and enough sequels that I don't know. I think sometimes you forget how good his performance is in Die Hard. So Die Hard, it would be another
Okay.
one.
It's just, you know, it kind of like sets off for him like a little bit of a second career or a different
A different
of his career.
Yeah.
And it's just it's obviously got a great villain, and it's a nice little Christmas tale, warms the heart. But no, I just love I love his performance in that one. Same thing. He's just not the same role, but it's the same idea where he's just kind of stuck trying to do the right thing, and obviously he wants to
everyman.
get back to, or tries to reestablish a connection with his ex-wife and the whole bit, and he's stuck there for the holidays.
Yeah.
In some cases, literally stuck because he's
Yeah,
crawling
because
around.
he's crawling around. Yeah. Now, how do you feel about the sequels to that?
Actually, some of those aren't that bad either. They aren't bad, and there's been a few of them. There was even a couple that I don't even remember coming out.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
Live Free, Die Hard, or whatever. Some of them.
I
There's
think they
there's a
got
bunch got in there.
increasingly, they went from being like kind of, you know, action movie with the
Yeah.
first one. And then I think it turned into more of a, like bigger, more outlandish,
Yeah,
like
shtick kind of.
action movie, like
Yeah.
capital A action movie
Yeah.
as opposed to little a action
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
So, you know, like when, you know, he's like there's a jet fighter he's, you know, on top of. That was just, you know, he sends a car into a helicopter. Like that's
a slow Tuesday for
that's
him by
just-
that
but
point.
that's when I think that the John McClane character
Yeah.
started getting more into like what would normally be like an Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. Oh, exactly. It
movie.
changes. It
so
does.
it does
changes.
change
Yep.
into more a little bit more cartoonish.
Yes,
So
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
So we had Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
and then I followed that up with Die Hard. And there's no particular order, but those are two. And I would say my third favorite Bruce Willis performance would be The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
It's a different role for him, and one of the reasons it's a well done movie. There is some good acting in the movie, and I think a challenge for him, or for anybody who has to spend a lot of screen time with a child actor, and he does in this movie,
Yeah.
that he never comes across as being condescending or like he's trying to lead the child actor into, you know, into his performance.
Right.
So I think that actually took a lot of skill, and he pulls that off really well. And he's got his own troubles, his own dissent
Yeah.
in that movie that he's trying to deal with his own stuff. In addition to trying to help the child, which
Yeah.
is which is the psychological or psychiatric
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
So I like that one because it's not a traditional role, but I thought he pulled that off very well.
Oh yeah, I thought it was
he
great.
Definitely, he shares a lot of time in that movie, and you know, he doesn't get in the way of I don't remember what not the actor's name, but what the the boy's name was. But anyway,
I want to say Cole.
oh, Cole.
No, that's
I
not
think
it.
it is Cole.
Might be.
That might be. I think it is. But the Haley Joel Osment
Yeah.
character was, allowed to actually
I
play
haven't seen
very
that
well.
movie in a
I
very
haven't seen
long
that in a
time.
long time either,
Yeah.
but I like that performance. So those would be my three.
All right.
Those would be my three. Bruce
All right,
Willis.
cool.
What you got? What are yours?
So let's see. You had Pulp Fiction. You had Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
And
And
you
Die Hard
had
first,
Die Hard.
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, before I give you my three, I want to remind everyone to like and subscribe.
Yes.
And throw in a comment or two. We mentioned before. Tell your
Yeah.
friends. Tell your family.
Yeah, please
tell
share
your
with
dog. Tell anybody who'll stand still long enough
Yeah.
to listen and watch the show. Anyway, so my three. The first one I'm going to go now. I don't know that we ever specifically stated that we were going to talk about movie performances. So I'm gonna.
Oh,
So
to
I'm
be
gonna be
honest, I probably shouldn't have, but I just assumed.
Yeah, no,
that's what
because
we were
typically
doing.
we're kind of a movie-centric thing, but I'm not gonna count it as one of my three though. But I do want to, I do want to mention Moonlighting because
Oh, yeah.
I think that it establishes
Oh, yeah.
because I think that it establishes the Bruce Willis kind of brand because he was funny, he was charming, kind of a tough guy, sort of, kind of. He could hold his own. But so I want to use that as kind of a baseline because I have a thing about, I have a thesis about Bruce Willis.
Go with
and
it.
his thing. So, but in terms of movies, I did like him quite a bit in Blind Date.
Okay.
Yeah, with Kim Basinger and
Yeah.
it's a great little romantic comedy, and I believe it was one of his first movies. I don't think it was his first movie. I think there was a cowboy movie that he did, but yeah.
Could be.
So that, but Blind Date was pretty funny, and it was that same character that he played in Moonlighting, the David Addison character, where he's just nice guy and he's trying to just get along, and funny things happen to him, and he's funny. There's more comedy in his performance, and it's a role that, it's a funny movie. I highly recommend it. His role in Blind Date, like I said, it's very funny and it's comical, and he got that sort of spun off of the Moonlighting role, so that's fine. But as he gets into like Die Hard, which catapulted him, turned him into a big action star. But again, not in an Arnold Schwarzenegger sense, but more in a just everyday guy doing his thing. He slowly evolved into a more over the top Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque kind of action hero in other movies that he did. But I think that Die Hard, I'll agree with you. I'll take that as one of mine as well. It's a great movie. It's a great performance in it, and I just have to. We've said enough about Die Hard. We all know
probably.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
So my next Bruce Willis would probably be in Red.
Yes.
Yes, Red
I
think
enjoyed that movie a lot.
is great, and it continues along his line of being like an action guy. But have you noticed what's happened as he's gone along in his career? And this was the Bruce Willis thesis I mentioned before, in a part I think that might not have been edited out. So he's gone from like kind of doing actiony stuff, but being primarily funny.
Yes.
And then, he's less and less funny as he goes along. He's more stone-faced, more stoic, and you just don't have as much fun watching him. He's a reliable star, and you're going to enjoy most of what he's watched. I'll admit, preparing for this, I looked and I saw that there was a lot of Bruce Willis movies that I have not. There's like a ton of like little action movies that came and went.
Came and went real fast. Exactly.
Nothing.
I don't think I've seen half of his body of work because it's all snuck out the last few years.
Yeah, it's insane. But Red was pretty good. It had a little bit of humor in it. You know, John Malkovich adds a little bit of
Yep.
humor in that. And you see a little bit, you see Bruce Willis having a little bit more fun in that. And I enjoyed that a lot. It sort of harkened back a little bit to the Die Hard days. But as he's gone along, I think his performances have been more and more just like that stone cold, more serious, just stoic kind of character. And it's fine, but it's not as much fun. So my I guess thesis statement about Bruce Willis would be not as much fun. He's just not as much fun. Used to be fun, not as much fun. Lots of us probably aren't as much fun as we were 35 years ago, but just
I don't know.
not as much fun.
Yeah, could be. Could be. That's a possibility. No, in his case, I agree though.
As he's gotten older, whether it's his choice of roles, I don't know, or if it's his own approach now, I'm not sure either, or if it's the way the directors have him maybe typecast in a certain way, something. But yeah, you're right. There isn't this little little joy, this joie de vivre. It's just not there.
Yeah, he's not as quippy, and if he does kind of throw out,
and he's glib in early ways,
right? And when he was, and I think in more recent roles, the sort of, if he's been quippy, it's a little bit more kind of just, I don't know, angry.
Yeah, barbed. Kind of
it's a little bit grumpier. So grumpier. More grump, less fun. So that's where I stand on Bruce Willis.
All right.
These days. One of my favorite actors. I love seeing him and stuff. Yeah. It's just not as much fun as it used to be.
All righty. All right.
What was your...
I was going to say, you asked me a question.
Yeah, what's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure...
Oh, before we hear that, let's remind the folks, like and subscribe.
Please.
Just do that thing.
Your comments, share with people.
We want to hear what you think. What do you think about Bruce Willis's lack of verve? For lack of a better verve. So maybe that should be his next movie. Lack of a better verve.
Yeah.
Verve. All right. Guilty pleasure movie. What do you got?
Guilty pleasure movie. Now, let me just preface this by saying,
when it comes to what my idea of guilty pleasure is, it's that movie that for whatever reason you are drawn to, you've loved, you've seen before. It could be one of your favorites, but you get the feeling, or you are told that that's not a very good movie, or, oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that, that would be so high on your list or whatever. But there's a movie that I enjoy all the time, and I will not avoid watching it. And it's a long movie.
And I love it.
If you say Tinker Tailor Soldier
Yes, I'm gonna say it.
Son of a bitch!
I sat through it twice.
My God!
Just to irk you.
No, my guilty pleasure, and I'm not sure exactly if it disturbs people as much to hear me say it.
Is it Caligula? Because that's gonna weird me out a lot.
How did you know? No, my guilty pleasure is It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I love that movie. It's just that chase movie, but so many people just think it's stupid. And I mean, like, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's just joyfully acted.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, you should watch it. Definitely worth the effort, because it's no effort at all. It's early 1960s. Stanley Kramer, who's a very good director, did this movie, and it's a departure for him. But they collected any living comedian who was still active in the business at that time, in the early 1960s. There's some people who aren't in it. I want to say like Lucille Ball may have been busy. There are a few people who couldn't do it, who said no to it, and she's one of them. And, but like Lucy. Everybody else, anybody who's alive, is in this movie, and some of them are just tiny cameos. But it follows a bunch of, treasure-seeking people who think they're on the right track to finding this treasure. And then it just kind of goes on from there. And it kind of like,
It's probably not the first one. It's the first big, what you want to call it, like a chase movie, and everybody's involved, like a treasure hunt sort of a thing. And it kind of spawned off, I think a few of them.
A few of those.
Yeah, imitators. But that one's a good one. So it's a mad, 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 mad world.
All right. I don't.
so what is your guilty pleasure?
I don't know if I have one. Cause like.
You want to say Hudson Hawk with Bruce
No,
Willis.
you know what it is like that. See, the problem with Hudson Hawk, and
And I don't
here's
have a
the
problem
thing. Well,
with
that's
Hudson
the
Hawk.
thing. That's the thing. Hudson Hawk is either, depending on who you talk to,
Yes.
it's either really, really funny, or it's
Correct.
really, really not. So it's
Yeah.
a very divisive movie, and it's that's one of those movies that again follows my thesis that that Bruce Willis was really, really fun,
Yes.
and then now he's not. But anyway, no, I wouldn't say that is.
Yeah.
I could say Under the Cherry Moon, but I'm a huge Prince fan.
Yeah.
So, and other people are huge Prince fans, so they may also enjoy Under the Cherry Moon. So I wouldn't say that. Let's see. You know what? I don't know that I have.
Well, of course you don't.
I can't think of something that I like watch that others would consider like, really? Really? And you'll watch that? Because I like lots of types of movies across a broad spectrum. So
There's got to be one that you like fear that maybe you shouldn't be enjoying it as much as you are.
Do you know what I'm gonna? You know what I'm gonna say? Because I hear people give this movie crap all the time.
Yeah.
Both critics and like normal people.
Normal people.
Normal people. Not to say the critics are not normal.
No.
But some people hate it because they think it's too busy and that you could cut
Now
a
I'm
bunch
curious.
of people out of it.
I'm dying. What's
Love
this one?
Actually.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie. And because it's great. I think everybody's great in it, and I love all the little connections through it. But there are some people who will watch that movie and go, "Oh, you could cut out the bit about the British guy who just wants to go to America to get laid. You could cut out the thing with the prime minister and like the secretary lady. You could cut. Yeah, there's lots of stuff that you could cut out.
do it,
but I think that all those little elements make that movie work. I'm playing to the camera. So
I noticed that.
right? So
I don't know what he's talking about.
yeah. So so let's say Love Actually would be my and I got to tell you, sometimes it just kind of gets me when that little kid is running through the airport. Come on, it's beautiful. I love that movie. So yeah, I'd say that's a good. How do you feel about that movie?
I watched it not too long ago, actually.
I think it holds up.
And yeah, and it. I do think exactly what you said. It's the little vignettes or our little views into different people's world before it gets kind of tied together and stuff that I think move the movie along. So I don't think it would work if you just did, edit this out. This guy's not.
You could though, and I'll admit this, even though I like the movie and I like this little bit. There's the Martin Freeman character where he plays like a body double on a porn set.
Oh yes, that one is a weird one.
Yeah, it's
where
a
he
weird
and the
one.
same girl.
Yeah,
they're always paired up together in the movies.
right, and they kind of get together, and it's fine, it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny
but
because of what they do.
its connection to other stuff, I don't think matters.
Yeah.
So I would concede that you could cut out the porn body doubles. Fine. I'll give you that. But otherwise, I think it's a good little movie.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you shouldn't feel guilty about anything.
I
That's
don't-
the way I figure
I don't
it.
feel
When it
guilty.
comes to movies,
I don't have a lot of regrets. I mean, there was this thing back in the late '90s that I feel kind of crappy about, but
and you
whatever.
probably should.
No, so I can't go back to Texas. Big deal. Anywho, yeah. So that's where we are. So Bruce Willis.
So
You
yeah,
had
let's
Pulp
just recap.
Fiction, you had
Yep.
Sixth Sense, and you had Die Hard. I had Die Hard,
Die Hard,
and
right.
Red, and I know I agreed with you on
The Die Hard,
Die
one
Hard
we agreed on.
and
You
Red,
had Red,
and Blind Date.
Blind Date, yeah.
Blind Date.
Yeah.
So yeah. So check those out.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, who are we doing? Let's talk about next time. We'll talk about next
yeah.
time.
Next
Talk
time.
about next time.
What we
So,
got now? Who we doing
who we
next
got?
time?
All right, check that out. Start preparing yourself for that.
Oh, all
I
right.
think that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
yeah. I don't want to put it in.
Yeah.
there.
No, don't return it. to
No.
anything. So, all right. So, folks, thanks for watching again. Thanks for everybody who's watched the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And we appreciate any feedback. We appreciate the feedback that we've gotten,
Yeah,
sort
comments.
of, individually.
If you have an idea for a question,
Yeah. Or an actor you'd like
An
to
actor,
hear us
right.
babble on about the
Yeah.
few performances that we think are best.
like,
So,
subscribe, comment, share with your friends.
all of that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. This has been Ticket Studs and Popcorn.
Bye-bye.
I'm Peter.
I'm still Frank. Bye.
Take care.